So till now we have seen introduction about Vault, the installation methods like dev versus enterprise, various secret engines, how to enable, configure, disable it, various auth methods, policies, user pass, what's the importance of app role in Vault, a PKI secret engine. Okay, and in the last session we have seen a Vault agent for KV and token, and what's the importance of Vault agent. This session we will be focusing on Vault agent for PKI, how Vault act as its own CA, and how we can do certificate renewal. I have initialized Vault in dev mode, and this is how I have initialized Vault. My root token is root, and if I do Vault status here, you can see the shield is false, and if I cross check it from UI, so you can see nothing, no policy and everything, nothing has been created yet. So let's, as we will be following this hierarchy, okay, from first the root certificate, then intermediate, we will sign this intermediate by root, and then we will focus on this creating or issuing or generating a leaf certificate, and then we will get it signed by intermediate certificate. So first we will need to create CA. So in the last session we have seen the steps to create a root CA. So here you can see we are creating it. The CNAME we are using is this, issuer name will be this. So I have created this shell script so that I can do it in a quick way. So 03. Okay, so here you can see I am setting up my Vault CA, okay, at this path. And moving on, so in this 04 shell script, I'm enabling my Vault for as intermediate certificate, and here I'm getting it signed via root CA. So this is how I do it. So let me execute this. Okay, so now if I see here, PKI int has been created. So if we must see two certificates here, okay, for root. One is self signed, okay, and one is where we signed intermediate certificate, this one. Okay, so let's focus now on creating this leaf certificate, the third one. So we will need a role, okay, for PKI to via which we will issue a certificate. So here I'm creating a role called MCU role, and here I'm setting up values like country, my locality, street address, organization unit, postal code, and all that. Here I'm deliberately keeping my TTL as 1 minute, okay, just to cross check the expiration of certificate and all. So let me create a role now. So now the role has been created. Okay, now let's see. So I'm at this directory now. Okay, so let's issue a certificate or generate a certificate. So I issue a certificate in this way. Format equals to JSON. It's not required, but still I'm keeping it. Common name I'm keeping as avengers.mcu.com, and these are the alternate names. So if I execute this, my certificate chain and all, so you can see the output is like my CA chain is there, certificate is there, my issuing C is there, which I can make use of. So instead of doing it in this way, we will output all our information into a JSON file, and then using JQ we will parse it and we will create a certificate. If I check my cert directory, nothing is there. So let me now execute these steps. Okay, now if I go to my search directory, so I should see these three files. This is the JSON and this is the cert, and if I double click on it, you can see this is the hierarchy. Okay, root, intermediate, leaf, root, intermediate, leaf. And if I do the TTL is this is 6. There is a issue, guys. Okay, or not exactly a issue. There is always a 30-second overlapping. There is always an extra 30 seconds added. So even though I have set it here for 1 minute, but still 30 seconds get added. But anyways, it's not much. So you can see the expiry is set to almost 1 minute. So now let's wait for 1 minute, okay, to check whether the cert gets expired or not. So if I check it now, you can see that the certificate has expired or it's not valid, and if we see the expiry, the time has passed on. So this is how we create, generate or issue a certificate. Now let's focus on this agenda, okay, how Vault agent helps us to do the certificate renewal, and how we can make use of Vault agent for PKI. So let's focus on it now. So here, as we saw for KV, we need our role ID and secret ID. So what I'm doing here, I have created one policy here. So if I check, so this is my policy. Here I'm restricting my use to PKI int, okay, issue, only create, update, list, read, write, like that. And then so let me create a policy. Okay, so policy has been created. Now let me create a role. Let's focus on creating app role. So here I'm giving app role name as this, and so there are two testing we can do. Okay, one test will be to check secret ID error, okay, and one check will be the token error. So mm, I mean, just to clarify, how token TTL works and how secret ID works. So let's focus on the secret ID first. So here I'm create here first I'll enable the app role and creating a role. Okay, app role has been created, role has been created, and this is how I can read. Now focus here for secret ID. Okay, the TTL is of 1 minute and maximum number of users permitted to use the secret ID is 3. So here I am creating a role ID and secret ID. Okay, role ID, secret ID is created. Now to validate secret ID works or not, the maximum permission, let me use this 3 times. So first time it worked, second time it worked, third time it worked. Now if I do it for the fourth time, it should throw me this error, invalid secret ID. Yeah, as expected, because the secret ID got expired. Now let's modify the role. Let's set the TTL for 1 minute, and let's 10 minutes maximum use 10. So let's focus on this token number of users right now. Modifying my token. So if I read this role, you can see the maximum use for token allowed is a 5. So let's create the token again. So here I have created role ID and secret ID. Now let's validate whether we get permission denied or not. So what I will do, I will just set the vault token, okay, with my secret ID and role ID, and then we'll check this vault token lookup. So vault token lookup, okay, now I have already used it once, so let me use it twice, thrice, fourth time, fifth time, and my done. All attempts are done. You can see number of users -1. So if I do it again, I should see permission denied. So yep. So this is how this is the importance of token number of use cases, and ID number of use cases. Now let's focus on Vault agent. So this is the configuration file for Vault agent. I will use the role ID here and secret ID here, and then we'll sync, I mean the output will token into this file, and these are the template file I have used. So these are the template file. So this is the key, okay, just relate it with this. You can see here the role we have used is MCU role. Okay, the role we have used is MCU role. Our issuer is PKI int, and the common name are this one, Avengers. Common name are Avengers, and these are my alternate name. So here I'm fetching the private key, and here I'm fetching the certificate and issuing key both. So this is how my source will be my that file, and destination will be in the form of CRT. So right now you can see, let me just remove this directory to avoid confusion. So right now there are no certificates created here. Now let me reconfigure my token. So you can see, let me set it for 10. Number of users allowed is, let me keep it for 10. Set my vault token to root, and if I modify my role, setting up my token TTL and all for 10. Now let's initialize a vault for PKI using this configuration. Now have a look guys. For key we have set it's the TTL for 30 seconds. Okay, so if I initialize it now, so you can see with the help of this ctmpl file, it has created this certain key. So if I check the certificate here, so there must be a gap of 30 seconds. Okay, so 1846. Now let's check it again. 1846, remember the time, and you can see it is checking for renewal. Okay, 1836 was there. Now you can see 1824. So this is how a certificate renewal happens. Okay, and if we check the path again, so certificate is valid, and if it gets, let's check it again, you can see the certificate renewal is happening. So that's it about Vault Agent for PKI. We saw now how Vault Agent helps us to do a renewal of certificate using PKI secret engine. So if we want to make use of those certificates, so here we have seen in the last session, we have this Python demo app application. We set our certificate location like this, and we can create a service file which do the app start. And remember, we will need to restart application to make a certificate active. So that's it for this session. Don't forget to check my next sessions, because this will be just like this session we have seen a generation or issue of certificate via CLI. So in the next 3 sessions we will see how we can generate the same certificate via Terraform and via Python and via Java. So stay with me for this session. Bye. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, comment and subscribe. This will help me to work on myself.